Also with me, appearing via Zoom, is Kristie Sullivan. Ms. Sullivan has a master's in public health and toxicology from the University of Michigan and has worked on various other similar cases in legislation. With that, I would like to give my time to Ms. Sullivan for testimony.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Ms. Sullivan, welcome to committee. We welcome you. Please proceed.
Thank you very much, Senator MacDonald. Thanks, Chairman Lucido and members of the committee. Thanks for the opportunity to speak in support of Senate Bill 971. My organization, which is the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, supports this bill because we see it as an important step towards making research in Michigan more humane and human relevant. The bill is narrow, but it's important. It says that a public institution may not conduct painful experiments on dogs. The bill is targeted at the cruelest experiments. It would still allow for the use of dogs in humanely conducted studies, including drug treatment trials approved by dogs' owners, and it would allow for routine non-invasive procedures to train veterinarians. When polled on the issue last year, about 70% of Michigan voters said they oppose using dogs in painful experiments, and 66% they oppose the use of taxpayer money to fund them. We first became involved in this issue several years ago when we learned about troubling experiments at Wayne State University that have been going on for almost 3 decades. And I want to briefly tell you about one of the dogs who died at Wayne State. In May of 2019, when she was just 6 months old, dog number 2002, who was never given a name, was shipped from a breeding facility in Illinois to Wayne State. In September, university employees cut open her chest and implanted 2 medical devices, a catheter, and 4 wires in her heart, and another catheter in one of her arteries. Then they surgically tunneled cables and wires under her skin and out between her shoulder blades. 8 days after her surgery, she was having trouble breathing, so they euthanized her. The necropsy revealed a ½ liter of blood in her chest cavity. One of the implanted devices had torn one of her arteries and caused massive internal bleeding. If the dogs survive these surgeries, they're forced to run on treadmills while implanted wires speed up their heart rate to twice the normal rate, causing heart failure. Eventually, every single dog succumbs to the rigors of these experiments. Like dog number 2002, some die within days, but on average, none of them last more than 5 months. Wayne State is literally running dogs to death, and since 1991, the university has wasted $12 million in public money to do it. As many as 300 dogs, some of them from Michigan animal shelters, have been used and killed in these experiments. Now, Wayne State and other public institutions that use dogs in highly invasive experiments will tell you that they're regulated under the Federal Animal Welfare Act, but actually, any experiment is allowed under federal law, including those that inflict pain and suffering, as long as the proper paperwork is filled out. But the state of Michigan can and should set higher standards. We think that scientific pursuit and compassion are not mutually exclusive. There are alternatives to dog studies. Cell-based and computer-based research methods and human clinical population studies are superior to research that inflicts pain on dogs. The very concepts being studied of dogs in Wayne State can have been studied in human beings. Heart disease is our state's biggest killer. By 2030, as many as 2.9 million Michigan residents are expected to have heart disease. And yet the university has produced no evidence of such progress, not a single new treatment for patients. And we think taxpayer dollars should be spent on the best research. Again, the bill is targeted at the cruelest experiments, and we think advancing SB 971 would be a big step forward to improving how our state uses public money to address public health in an ethical way. Thanks for your time and attention.
Thank you very much, Kristie. Based on limited amount of time, I know that we have a ton of cards. This is a very, very important topic, and I'd like to know a lot of things, but unfortunately, it just doesn't permit us today to keep going digger. I want to see what other states are doing about this. I want to see how they treat it. I want to know what the protocol is regarding animals that are used for science and the need for humans. The whole thing is a very interesting topic, but more importantly, it's a necessary topic for us as policymakers if we want to have any landing spot which is fair, equitable, and most importantly, humane. So we thank you for being here in committee today. We thank Senator MacDonald for sponsoring this bill.